to 10 Super Bowls. Here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The setting in this dome just serves to amplify the excitement of the folks in New Orleans as their Saints burst from the tunnel a moment ago. They're set, and we're set as well as the Saints get ready to do battle with the Washington Redskins. Happy to be on hand. I'm Brandon Gaudin with Charles Davis. And before we kick, partner, your keys to the game, please.
Well, my keys are on the defensive side of the ball for both teams. And the big one, making sure you avoid giving up the big play. These safeties are going to get tested all game long. Their job, keep the ball in front of them, tackle people, make them run extra plays in order to try and score.
Here come the Saints for their opening drive. We get a good peek at a man in his 13th year at the controls of the Saints. In his 18th season overall, it's Drew Brees.
And to say that he knows every bit of the New Orleans offensive playbook, terminology, nuances, and creates a few of his own would actually be an understatement for Drew Brees. He makes everything go with that offense and makes everyone around him better. Every time he takes a snap, there's a potential for a big play and a touchdown.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
Ready. We waiting.
They'll run it for the first time with Alvin Kamara. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. Another gigantic game in Week 4 for Kamara. He had 181 all-purpose yards, 3 more touchdowns. Kamara, he leads the league in yards from scrimmage, so I'll ask my resident volunteer here. Could you possibly have seen him becoming a monster like this?
I think it's always easy to say yes after the fact, but we did know before the fact that he had this all-purpose capability, that you could throw it to him. Obviously, he could run it. I did think he could run it better inside than maybe people gave him credit for, and he did that against the Giants. Ran for 134 yards. So you could see all those things coming together. But to absolutely say we would see him at this level this fast, I'm not sure anyone could unequivocally state that.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Well, that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
And the Redskins have an extra man in the secondary here on 3rd. Shotgun now for Brees. Over the middle, it's Thomas. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Adrian Peterson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Big Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down.
Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. So I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
They hand off to their big tight end. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Only a gain of a couple there. That leaves them needing about 7 here on 3rd down. The Saints with an extra defensive back here on 3rd on the field.
Could they blitz?
A shotgun snap for Smith. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. So that last play gives him a little more space now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. First down, here's a run with Peterson. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Von Bell up to make the tackle.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They'll try the air now with Smith. Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. That's good for a Redskin first down. Richardson on the reception from Smith. Handoff comes to Peterson. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
On 2nd down, here's Smith. It's brought in by Jamison Crowder. First time that they called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, do I have that dagger play? Do I have that play and just finish them off right now? Because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
On 1st and 10, Smith. Incomplete.
One thing I have learned, receivers don't mind high throws so much to the sideline, but do that over the middle to them, and not only are the DBs going to throw a little verbal trash their way, when they get back to the huddle, they're going to have a few words to say to their QB, aren't they?
Yeah, hung out to dry a little bit there on the high throw. Luckily fell incomplete. Back to the air, Smith on second down. And he finds the tight end, Reed. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
On third down, that's Thompson. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a fourth down. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Dustin Hopkins now for the Redskins field goal. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this will remain a scoreless game. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Now they're set up nicely at the 45-yard line after the missed field goal from 55. Breeze now on first down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Ben Watson was the intended target, the tight end. And that'll bring up second down. Let's get a quick look at the Saints offense.
And running back Mark Ingram is coming into his own as a runner in the NFL. Over 1,000 yards each the last 2 seasons. And now he's teaming with Alvin Kamara in a backfield where both of them can run the football effectively and both of them can catch it out of the backfield as well.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Breeze. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Ready? You waiting?
On 1st and 10, here's Breeze. And incomplete on the deep ball. Ben Watson was the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. And now a look at the Washington defense.
A force off the edge is Ryan Kerrigan, who's had 24 sacks in the last 2 seasons alone, and that's second only to Chandler Jones over that span. Not only does he get to the quarterback, he knows how to strip the ball away from him as well. And that was something he did particularly well when he was at Purdue. Noted for forcing fumbles, for takeaways. He's carried that over quite well in the NFL.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. On second down, Kamara looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Ready.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. And that is incomplete. On fourth down, off goes Drew Brees, and on comes the Saints kicker, Will Lutz, for the field goal attempt. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Following the made field goal, Lutz to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. Room here to run. The 40. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Washington. As his guys are in for 6. And the Redskins have taken a first-quarter lead. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. Extra point good by Hopkins, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. So that one goes down as a 99-yard kick return for 6 from the 1-yard line all the way to the house on the other end. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
So Brees going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Brees now to throw. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32. It's a gain of 7, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
Now Brees. And it's hauled in by Ben Watson. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Ready. We're waiting.
They go play action here on 1st down. Room to run past midfield. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
One of the feature points of the end route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better throws and better looks that he'll get. But he has to be careful not to wait too long and let his receiver wander into some tough territory. If he's late with the ball, he can get his receiver hit and hit hard.
In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Ready. We're waiting.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Washington territory. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Every year I go to the combine and marvel at the speeds that linebackers are running nowadays. They run like DBs. And let's face it, they know how to finish plays too. Eyes up, head up, run right through them.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the 1st down marker is here on 3rd.
Ready. We're waiting.
From the gun, it's Breeze. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It'll be a gain of 4. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. Now the holder's going to keep it. He's going to try to run for it. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down in the backfield. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. Out comes the Redskin offense now as they get set to begin another possession. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They run again on 1st down. Peterson. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
From the 50, it's Smith. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. So we played one quarter here on a Monday night. 7-3 the score. We'll head back to New Orleans after this. Back live, Charles Davis to my right. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Redskin football to begin quarter number 2. They do, however, have a tough 3rd and long coming up. From the gun, here's Smith. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line. Cameron Jordan with a big-time sack on 3rd down, and it'll be a loss of 7. Jordan coming off a Pro Bowl campaign in 2017, 3rd time he's had that honor.
And he continues to play better and better as his career extends. Think about it this way. 4th in the league last year in sacks with 13. Helped the New Orleans Saints defense improve overall and help lead them to the playoffs. And now he shares Pro Bowl honors with his father, Steve, who was a Pro Bowl tight end in the NFL.
So on 4th down, the Redskins will call on Tress Way to punt it away. Back deep, the veteran Ted Ginn. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
So Bree's going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Ready. You ready?
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Saints on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 7.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Unable to corral him, he fights through, and that's complete. It's Watson. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
They had 2 tight ends in the formation on that one. It looked to me like he had his pick of receivers downfield.
I think he was just planning on going over the middle. That's what he did.
Picked up 1st down, too.
Breeze now 8 of 11 in this first half. He's got it 1st and 10.
Ready.
Breeze leaves this one with Kamara. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another 1st down. It will. Alvin Kamara really settling into the league in his 2nd season. And, of course, he came out of Tennessee, but not a lot of people remember he started at Alabama.
He did and got caught in that big mix of running backs at Bama, and they like those bigger, thicker runners, those guys who can break down defenses through the middle. Alvin Kamara ended up leaving Alabama, going to a junior college for a while. I believe he went to Hutchinson Junior College before matriculating at Tennessee and finding his way to the NFL, where he is now a star.
And this is a catch by Ted Ginn. And a loose football into the Redskins. How did they do?
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So out now come the Redskins. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. They start the drive with Peterson. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Right back to him on first down. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just knifing into the backfield and shutting that one down?
On 2nd down, Peterson. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. They give them 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
They give it to Peterson. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. And this one complete to Reed. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Smith finding his big tight end Reed for a Redskins first.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. They'll run with Thompson. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Back to the ground. This time it's Peterson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, 0 nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down.
Offside. Defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Even after the penalty, still a full 7 yards to go on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Smith. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Chris Thompson, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Redskins find a way to stretch their lead. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. Hopkins with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it was polished off by a Redskin touchdown. Here's Hopkins now out to kick it away. The return man is Hill. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
Ready? You waiting? Play start.
On 1st down, Breeze. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds.
Illegal touching. Offense.
On second down, here's Breeze. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked up by the all-pro corner, Josh Norman.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there, second down. And a couple of big boys up front defensively, and in that 4-3, those D tackles so vital.
Extremely vital. I love how you described that, because if they control things up front, often it's over the guard. Sometimes they slide and make it over the center. It's really hard to get a play started then, because a lot of teams want to start inside out running the football. But against a good 4-3,
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
The Saints coming out now to take the field. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you got a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
So Breeze going to lead the Saints up here, 1st and 10 at their own 21.
Ready? You waiting?
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
Ready? Yellow waiting.
A give. This is Kamara. And this may be a carbon copy, as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one, as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about different style of running in order to get this guy going.
2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10.
Yellow waiting, yellow waiting.
Now Breeze on 3rd down. And got his man complete. And he's got the first down yardage before being taken down at midfield. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Great patience in the pocket. Of course, it's easy to be patient when the protection's good, and it was.
Yeah, you got to pat those guys on the helmet and say thanks, because they gave him plenty of time to stay back there, survey the field, go through the reads that he wanted to, and deliver the ball accurately. That was really well executed.
Here we go.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Ready? Yellow waiting.
A 10th carry for Kamara. And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, Not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Ready. We're waiting.
Now Breeze throwing on second down. Eluding the pressure right. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down. The Saints on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7.
Ready. Yellow waiting. Ready, set.
Shotgun now for Breeze. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Breeze to throw on second down. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara.
Oh, that's sweet.
What an effort. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Breeze now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10.
Waiting.
Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front.
False start, offense.
A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready. You waiting?
Here's Breeze to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Watson. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. They get the penalty yardage back plus 5 more as they get it to 2nd and 5.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch.
Ready. You waiting?
To throw, it's Breeze. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. The Saints on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Now flags will come in. And I think this is against the Saints up front.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
And this offense back to needing 10 yards after the false start. 3rd and 10. Again, it's Breeze. The open man is Smith. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Breeze to throw again. That's caught. It's Thomas. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, they'll throw with Breeze. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Michael Thomas from 3 yards out. And the Saints have cut it back within a score.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. Will Lutz on for the point after. Lutz good on the extra point, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. So that one a 13-play drive in total, and it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. Lutz now to kick this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. Fights him off. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And our focus now moves to Adrian Peterson. He's been effective so far over the 40-yard mark here in the second quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football, and they've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Peterson. And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of 1st downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Now Peterson. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. So we have come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Redskins who have the lead here. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you got to expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gott.
The Redskins in a good spot. They've got the lead. They will get the football as the second half gets underway. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Complete. Richardson has it. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They run. Peterson. And a good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
They run again with Peterson. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
They'll run it. Here's Peterson. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
no, tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker boards?
Yeah, those two.
They'll try to get the offense going with Kamara. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Ready. Yellow lady. Yellow lady. Wait side.
Throwing now is Breeze. The catch made over the middle by Ginn. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 15. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And he went in route there from the slot for the completion.
Love how he runs his routes because it's all setting up your defender. Give him a little something one way, take it the other way. Head and shoulder fake. Sometimes you make one step to the outside, then break it inside. Really well-run route.
Ready. Yellow lady.
Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And he will have the first down as he's up to his 17-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Ready. You waiting? Wait side.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And his second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And he's going to be taken down right at about the 15-yard line. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Saints on 3rd down. They've had good success, 5 for 8 to this point. This is 3rd down and 12.
Ready.
Now Breeze. And Ginn's got it. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Bringing him down there, Jonathan Allen.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Again, it's Kamara. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. The Saints on 3rd down. 6 conversions and 9 tries. They've done a great job of picking these up. This is 3rd and 8. Brees going to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Now it's Crowder. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Washington offense will be backed up to start this drive as they've got it 1st and 10. Now the Redskins offense, they get set to go back to work here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Smith. Out to the left here to Reed. And he's able to get up here to the 26. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
I got 580.
Smith going to throw on 3rd and 1. Over the middle, complete. It's Richardson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It goes for a gain of 10, and it's a 1st down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They run with Peterson. He's been busy tonight. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. But good luck there as a ball carrier. You get handed that football, look up, oh, there's a big D tackle ready to swallow you whole for a loss.
Yeah, you kind of count on your guys to give you at least a little bit of time, a little bit of space to try and maneuver, but not on that one. And when you have a defensive tackle who is that strong, that agile, he's a lot to deal with. Sometimes you have to double him, and sometimes you're not able to block him no matter who's trying.
I got 5.
To throw on second down is Smith. And Reed with it over the middle. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
The Redskins on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now a run with Peterson. And down he goes, but the stiff arm utilized effectively there, and it helps him move the sticks. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
That run is what defenses don't like about dealing with Adrian Peterson. His ability to drop a shoulder and run through contact.
And he's amazing at keeping those strong legs going, isn't he?
For him, no run is ever truly over. I mean, he's actually not even convinced that when they blow the whistle, he's actually down. That's how he finishes runs in a big way.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Again, Peterson. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. On second down, here's Smith. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down. Smith now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's Smith now on 2nd down. He's got quick. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
The Redskins on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 7. Out of the gun, Smith. And that is incomplete. And for the 2nd time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. From the left hash, this from 46. And Hopkins' kick is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. So he missed that field goal earlier, but he says not this time. Able to knock it through, give his guys 3.
I like his poise. I like his confidence, his belief in himself. Sometimes when you miss that first one, you'll see a lot of guys sag and they can't make the next one. Not in this case. Stepped right up like a pro.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. The dangerous Hill now to return. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Drew Brees getting ready to go again on offense. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the third quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far. A busy night continues for Kamara. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10.
Ready. Yellow waiting.
On 1st and 10, here's Brees. And Watson has it right side. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Ready. You waiting?
Kamara. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. Credit the tackle to DJ Swearinger. The Saints on 3rd down. They're hitting at 60%, 6 out of 10 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the fourth quarter of play. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Ready. Waiting.
Throwing on 1st down is Brees. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7.
Ready. Waiting.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. Caught by the tight end, Watson. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
The Saints on 3rd down. Now, they've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This time it's 3rd and 3.
Ready. Waiting.
Shotgun now for Breeze. This is caught by Ginn. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Breeze to another long-time vet, Ginn, for the New Orleans first. Breeze now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Ready. 90.
Now Breeze again. Throw left side taken in by Meredith. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Well, for teams that like to play man coverage, running corner routes can be tough on them because of the ability of getting into it. Sometimes you're squaring it off. Sometimes you're just rounding it. Sometimes there's a fake. Sometimes there's not. That makes it very, very difficult for a DB to stay with it.
Breeze going to come up here, 1st and 10. And he's hit on all 5 of his pass attempts on this drive so far.
Ready. Yellow waiting. 3 seconds.
Into the red zone, it's Breeze. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
As much football as we watch, we've seen this work many times. In the red zone, first down, take a shot at the end zone, and points result. In this case, though, give credit to the defense. They outguessed them, were prepared, and intercepted the pass.
Out comes Washington's offense as they get set to take over here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
After the interception, here's Smith. Completes it right side to Dodson. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Carry number 20 now for Peterson. He takes this from the 30 to the 34. The Redskins on 3rd down. They're at 50%, 4 for 8. This will be 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Smith. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It'll be a Redskin first down as Smith hits Crowder.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Now a first down throw. It's Smith. This one caught by Crowder. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. The Saints say they have it, and they do.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field. And they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Ready.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Breeze. And his throw is incomplete.
It's always a good play when you're able to bat a ball away or down, because if you actually tip it in the air, now the offense is getting a second shot at catching the football, or another receiver may come along and grab it out of the air and turn it into a big play. So if you make a play on the ball, make sure it's knocked away or down. Otherwise, there could be some jeopardy.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Ready. Yellow lady, yellow lady.
From the gun, it's Breeze. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit, because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10.
We got 3. Ready. You ready?
They go play action here on first down. Looking right sideline, but it's incomplete. The target that time, Michael Thomas. And now it's 2nd down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10.
Ready. You ready?
Breeze again here on 2nd and 10. On the check down, he finds Kamara. Stops short of the 25. The nice move couldn't ultimately free him. Call it a pickup of 7, and they're going to face a 3rd down. A 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3.
Ready. You ready?
Breeze to throw again. And that's complete. It's Watson. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. But the tight end drag route, Definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Ready? You waiting? That's it. That's it.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And they'll get him down right around the 16. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Ready? Yellow lady, yellow lady. That's it.
Breeze to throw on 2nd down. Finds his man. Watson over the middle. His carry with the extra effort is going to get him stopped up just shy of the 10. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Trying to keep the drive going here. This is play number 7 on 3rd and 2.
Ready? You waiting? That's it.
Breeze going to throw. This will be caught at about the 6. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. The Saints had 23 rushing touchdowns last year, most in the league, and they've got Kamara back there on 2nd and goal.
Ready? Yellow lady.
To throw, it's Breeze. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. Josh Hill from a yard out. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
And now a critical extra point attempt here. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. Set to go now with the kickoff. These two teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they get set to take over here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. Here's Peterson as they begin on the ground. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Off of play action, here's Smith. And that is incomplete. They were trying to get it there to Josh Doxson, and it'll bring up third down. A little too much air under that one. That could have easily been 6 points.
Yeah, what kind of speed he has is almost impossible, we think, to actually overthrow him. But he did exactly that. I think he probably tried to get it out there maybe just a little bit too quickly.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Smith. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Richardson. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. First down, here's a run with Peterson. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. Handoff comes to Peterson. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Another carry for their leader, and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Here's Peterson. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line. They'll try the air now with Smith. And he finds the tight end, Reed. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Redskin football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Peterson running right. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. On 2nd down, Peterson. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. And the Saints signal for another timeout as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. The Redskins on 3rd down. They've converted 7 times and could use another right now. This is 3rd and 10. They give it to Peterson. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point you have to have a splash play in there as well.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to take the lead here in the final minute. And I don't think this has the carry. It does not. It's no good. And a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. All right, we shift our attention now to Benjamin Watson. And partner, the defense, they were keyed in on him early, but his talent shining through as of late.
I like what you said about keyed in because it all started in their first meeting of game planning for this game, where they went over things with their team and said, all right, this is the guy we have to take out of the game. Make sure you get enough coverage on him, all the different defenses. Sometimes you run everything you've got in the first half, and they adjust in the second half and start to play better.
Now Breeze. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Watson. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. A gain of 6 there on 1st. To throw is Breeze. Over the middle, complete. It's Watson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. His big game continues. 10 catches now and another 1st down.
It certainly feels like there are more stars in the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. So it all rests now on the right leg of Will Lutz. This from 55 yards out. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And that changes everything here in OT. So 4 quarters wasn't enough, and we are off to overtime. Don't change that dial. It's a little teaching moment here. Overtime rules. Remind us how this goes, partner.
Okay, so in the past, we had sudden death. First team to score wins, but no longer. Now, if the team receives the ball, scores a touchdown, they win the game. If they kick a field goal, though, or don't score, the other team gets a possession. And after both teams get a possession, then we're into sudden death. First team to score wins the game.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Smith and the Redskins will come up now 1st and 10. On first down, Smith throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Not laying back defensively. They blitzed right there first play in OT.
The game's changed a bit, hasn't it? I'm telling you, when we were kids, most of the time you'd lay back, not necessarily prevent defense, but you'd want everything in front of you and hope that the offense made a mistake. Now people aren't counting on that. They're going after them and being aggressive. Of course, if they pick up your blitz, it could be a big play for the offense.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Coming up on a 3rd and 9. Opening drive of overtime as they look to convert. Out of the gun, Smith. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Now a play fake here on first down. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there. That'll bring up 2nd down. Another nice job there defensively. They've really stymied their passing attempts, and it continues in overtime.
And for them to do that, that means they've had to be cohesive on defense. Pressure in the quarterback's face. Good coverage of not just the wide receivers, but the tight end, the running backs when they try and slip out, and making sure they're at the point of attack. When the ball's in the air, they get there and help force some of those incompletions.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right, your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. Throwing on third down, Smith. Jordan Reed has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. Charles, you get into these overtime situations, that's not a bad guy to dial into.
Well, when you have to have plays, especially in a spot as you just described, we're in OT, you've got to go to the guys you can trust and you know are going to make the plays. Well, they say it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Now a give to Peterson running right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He's had some big runs in this game. Not there, though.
But I don't think they're going to be deterred by that play right there. He's had some nice runs in the game. And how many times have we seen a good running back get stopped, yet turn it into something big on a later carry? I'd stay with him.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
The run hasn't worked the last couple of plays. Now it's 3rd and 14. Smith operating from the gun. Complete. Richardson has it. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a 1st down. Shaping up to be a very efficient opening drive here in overtime.
And can you feel the tension building? Because I'm feeling it. All right, I've got the sweaty palms here with each play because of the enormity of what's going on. Each play means so much in overtime, and they're handling it well as this drive continues.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Fighting through. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the 1st down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's going to get the 1st down as they bring him down at the 23. A lot of efficiency here on this drive. Heck, this may be their best drive of the game.
Yeah, if they'd moved it like this throughout the entire game, we probably wouldn't be here in overtime. But right now, what you just said was the key word, efficiency. Taking care of the ball, move it downfield, get themselves in a position to score and win this game.
Now a handoff looking right. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. And I know you, with every carry, especially in overtime, you're just saying, if you're that ball carrier, hold on to the football.
Hold on to it, protect it, but not necessarily settle it, because you're trying to get to the end zone. You're trying to end the game right here. And I know the defensive guys poking, clawing, raking, trying to knock the ball free and protect their end zone.
Yeah, like you alluded to, especially this part of the field. Here's Smith. Now they go screen. It's complete. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. Now that screen there on second down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying it is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the first down on third down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
And they need 5 yards on third down here to keep this opening drive of OT alive. Now Smith from the gun, he'll throw. Out to the left here to Reed. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Defensively now, the ultimate challenge. Of course, the ball gets in the end zone. This thing's over.
And I remember my coaches always talked about in goal line situations, and now you're in overtime where they have to keep them to 3 points. Otherwise, this thing is done. Win your individual battle within the framework of the team defense. Beat that guy across from you and make a play. I expect them to attack on defense and not sit back.
So another third down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. From the gun, Smith, and he drops this off to Thompson, complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. Second and goal from inside the 5. They get it to him running left. So he loses 3 yards there. Now third down.
On goal-to-goal runs, when you create lost yardage plays, the only way that happens is either called pressure or what I like to call straight-ahead pursuit. A great read, and they get to the backfield and make the play.
And that was a big chunk of yardage lost. Now Smith on 3rd and goal. And this will be caught. It's a touchdown. And absolute stunned silence here as they have come in and stolen this one in overtime. Partner, a great game that we got to see, and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where we got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. From New Orleans, good night, everybody.